Hello friends, we are departing La Mariana and bound for a new anchorage. We're either going to go to Waikiki tonight, or there's another anchorage over by Coco Head. I can't remember the name. It's a little bay, kind of an open roadstead, but it would put us in a good point for Molokai. So we're going to sail to Waikiki right now, see how late it is, and go from there. Had a wonderful stay here at La Mariana Sailing Club. A little expensive, but it was quiet, nice, and kind of the perfect spot after the boatyard call out. So now it's time to get out and stretch Trita's legs a little bit and see how she feels in the open sea. So shallow. It's crazy. And we are sailing. Ooh, that feels good. Listen to that quiet. Got 14 knots on the beam. I think we can add a little more head sail. I don't know, let's see what speed we're doing. We're doing 5 knots. 5.5 knots. Yeah, we're fine. And this will set us up for the any gusts and stuff. Oh, sailing. Very short-lived little sail. The wind clocked around and like we're taking it right on the nose with the seas. We got somewhere to be, so we're just gonna beat into it and get to our spot. But it was funny. It was like, oh, okay, awesome. I thought the wind was gonna be like happy and stoked, but we're pushing into like just over a meter sea, so that was slowing our progress too much. Right now we're only doing like 2.5 knots motor sailing, so yeah, we'll push on, push on. Creep crawling along. We just passed Diamond Head Point mark. There's a big beautiful sailboat under full canvas. We are smashing into everything, doing like 2 knots. We're heading to Mauna Loa Bay, I think is what it's called. It's just in the lee of Coco Head, and that's where we're trying to anchor tonight. So we'll be in a really good point of sail for Molokai tomorrow morning. But we're just beating into it. It's only blowing 16 right now, but it's right on the nose. We have like just over 1 meter seas, so just slow crawl, just motoring into it. So that's where we're at. I'll show you Diamond Head. You can see the lighthouse, really pretty, and yeah, just chipping away. Lots of turns hanging out today. The engine just died. Been beating into 20 knots. Trying to get to Coco Head. It's just not happening. And with the engine, I don't know why the engine died. Like, it was bogging down. But I'm gonna sail back to Waikiki and anchor at the bight, because I know that's safe. We're like 5 miles from the anchorage, but it just like couldn't get there. Probably like a 2-knot current. Such a bummer. I could tack up the channel, but with the current and the winds right on the nose, I don't know if I would make it to that anchorage before dark. So I'm just going to be smart about it and pop back around the corner here to Waikiki and anchor. It's only like a mile or so, 2 miles maybe away. Yeah, the engine started bogging down. I don't know what that's all about. It may just be like pushing too hard. I don't know. Check the fuel filter when we get anchored and see what's happening. Okay, the anchor's all ready to go. We already came past Diamond Head. We're flying this way. And get up here to the spot. There's a bunch of boats anchored there. And yeah, see if the engine starts enough to get us anchored, but if not, then we'll have to anchor under sail, which is always exciting. Been taking a lot of passes, trying to find my spot. Anchoring under sail is it's a slow process, especially in a busy anchorage. There's a lot of traffic. I had a good spot, and then this fishing boat, or like sport fisher boat, just zipped up and took my spot, but it's okay. I'm moving slow. Maybe it doesn't look obvious what I'm doing, but I'm just taking my time, creeping in. Got anchored under sail. Luckily the winds were kind of mellow. Normally they're howling right here because of the land of the Venturi effect with the saddle of Diamond Head. But they're blowing like 14 right now. It was pretty easy. I just crept in. I'm not in as tight as I would like to be, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's like 12 to 15 boats in the anchorage, which all these people will probably peace out. This is not a fun anchorage to be in at night. So they're all just having fun on a Sunday rather. But because of that, I didn't get in quite as tight as I normally would have, but still we dropped the hook in 19 feet of water. I put out 5 scope and just let the trade wind set the hook. And I set the hook with 50 feet out. And once I saw that it was set, then I paid out another 50 feet so that we'd be 5 scope. I am sorting out the engine problem. It was a fuel situation. I don't know that the filter was clogged necessarily, but there's a bunch of gunk that came out of the fuel line that may be clogged inside. So I'll show you what just came out of the fuel line. Gunk. And you see that lower one, like normally I can turn that and fuel will flow down. I usually do that into a mason jar so that I can prime the filters, and nothing came out. So I think that inside the tank right there is clogged with old like biocide junk. So now I'm going to get the end of that hose off, open that valve, and if no fuel comes out, I'm gonna run baling wire up inside there and try to break up the gunk until I get it flowing. That's what I'm doing. Put our little Tupperware down here. Sorry if I'm blocking the view, but we definitely got some syrup coming out there. Okay. See a little bit of it's like all kinds of gunk in there. Try a little bit more just for giggles. See what it does. A little more funk came out. So it happens, if something happens, you can't run your engine. She sits like Tritea set the rudder. After I pulled the rudder in the water, she sat since what, November. So this is what happens. I always find this happens on deliveries as well. So just part of the game. So we know that this is cleared. So we'll go ahead and put this back on and we'll prime. Actually, I'll get some fuel now to prime our fuel filter. See what I'm doing here. I guess I'll show you since you can kind of see. It's hard to do in this rolly boat, but I'm just pouring this diesel I just got inside the filter, and that's gonna prime it. Makes it easier to get started. Now with that new fuel filter, it had new O-ring and a new gasket, and you never want to use your wrench to crank it down real tight. That'll come back to haunt you. So you just get it hand tight and let those gaskets do their job, and don't worry about it. You can keep it on if you feel like, you know, if you're nervous about it. But yeah, that's hand tight. That's plenty tight. So now I get my fuel line back on here, and see if we can bleed the engine, get her going. Now I do my best to film this without blocking the view, but I ain't making any promises. These Yanmars, this is a 2GM20F, which means it's freshwater, has like antifreeze in the heat exchanger instead of seawater. And easiest way to bleed these is you crack your injectors open, you turn the engine over, when diesel shoots out, you tighten down the injectors. Now, that's all like fine and dandy if you have somebody in the cockpit that can turn over your engine. If you're solo sailor, you have to figure something else out. And when I was on my passage, I had the same problem with the fuel filters getting fouled because of junk in the diesel. So I installed a button like underneath my chart table right here that turns over the engine just by the push of the button. And you don't have to turn the key, nothing. You just hit this button and that way I can crack these injectors, turn it over, and prime it by myself. So that's something you might want to install if you're a solo sailor. So let's see if we can get her started. Crack these. Oh, I heard air. Okay, those are both cracked. That one had a little seepage there. Okay, here we go. Tighten them down. There you have it. That's all it was. We'll give her some gas so she runs a little bit. Okay, it's time to turn in. Gotta get it early to bed. Gonna get up kind of early and try to motor out around towards Coco Head. Kind of what I tried to do today. Hopefully I got all the gunk cleared out of the fuel line. And try to motor up to Coco Head before I start sailing from Molokai. I'll have a much better wind angle. And early in the morning, the wind should be pretty mellow, so that's the plan. Time to go to sleep, and it's been a good day. If you enjoy the content on this channel and would like to contribute, you can consider joining the Patreon crew. Thanks for watching. Fair winds until next time.